Well, number 1, letter C, we're solving an absolute value equation. Since we didn't cover very much absolute value in this unit, you're not really expected to think about solving it algebraically by using a strategy like undoing. Typically, to solve an absolute value, we'll utilize a strategy that we call looking inside. That kind of helps us figure out intuitively what's going on with the absolute value instead of worrying about remembering a bunch of rules. If you want to make the equation simpler to look at, the easiest thing to start with was to move anything outside the absolute value bars that's just kind of taking up space. For instance, I could see this minus 3 could be easily moved over to the right-hand side. So I would have negative 2 absolute value of 2x plus 1 now equals negative 14 by adding the 3. Then, of course, I could try to get rid of the negative 2, and the easiest way to do that is to divide the negative 2 on both sides. That would cancel it from the left-hand side, leaving me with the absolute value of 2x plus 1. And then on the right-hand side, I'd have negative 14 divided by negative 2, which is positive 7. Now, the idea behind this strategy is to just think intuitively about what would work in this equation. We need to have something in the absolute value that comes out to be positive 7. Technically, there are two things that I could use. I could have an absolute value of negative 7, because that would come out to be positive 7. Or I could have the absolute value of positive 7, which would also come out as positive 7. So since the thing inside could theoretically be equal to negative 7 or to positive 7, and the equation would be valid, we're going to consider both of those possibilities. Either the 2x plus 1 is going to equal positive 7, or the 2x plus 1 is going to equal negative 7. And we'll solve both of those occurrences. If I solve the first one, I could move over the 1, giving me 2x equals 6. I could divide by the 2, which would give me x is 3. We can always verify that. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Absolute value of 7 times negative 2 is negative 14. Negative 14 minus 3 is negative 17. So we can see that it does indeed plug back into the original problem. If I solve the other possibility, I could add the 1, which would give me 2x equals negative 8. If I divide by 2, that gives me x is negative 4. Once again, I could go back and plug that in. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8, plus 1 is negative 7. Absolute value of negative 7 is 7. 7 times negative 2 is negative 14. Negative 14 minus 3 is negative 17. So there are two answers that we could get either algebraically or by simply employing the strategy that we call looking inside, using logic to help you figure out what the numbers need to be.